good evening, and this is your host Ankit Kanelwal joining me from Delhi, India, and we have Jim Mate joining us from California, San Francisco, and popularly known as Silicon Valley. And then we have our coach Kumar joining us from Delhi. Good evening, everyone, and good morning to Americans, and good afternoon to people in Europe and Africa. And welcome to IBM TV Spiritual Saturday. As usual, we have a great lineup of shows this Saturday, starting from Smart Soul with Anandmai, followed by Talk Show with Dr. Saggu, and then we have Funk from the Front Seat by Zach Robertson, followed by A Plant a Good Seed with Tej Chokle, and then we have our Chess Star show at 3 p.m., followed by our Saturday Night DJ. So plenty to catch up on IBM TV, and let's get started, Coach. All yours. And before I'll hand over to you, we have our expert from Australia, Willie Hill. How are you doing?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. How are you guys? How's everybody?
Good to see you, Willie.
Hi in spirit.
Good.
Wonderful. So, Anandmai, what do we have for the day?
So today, actually, I was also planning to talk about time, how time, like people say, and everybody, like a lot of people believe that time is an illusion. It is just a parameter to how you should measure your age or your work done or something like that. But believe me on this, that last Saturday I did not came on the show, and I apologize for that. But somehow, and also it is said, and it is also said that when you have a lot to do, you feel that your time is like running away from you because you have a lot to catch up, a lot to do. But I have realized this during this lockdown, especially that when I have a lot to do, my time goes slow. Like it feels that somebody is allowing me more time to finish my work, even if I have the 24 hours deadline. I haven't spoken to you guys like on the show for just one Saturday, and it feels like, oh my God, I have spent years or months at least without talking to you or without being on this show or for any other work, which like today I'm thinking, oh, okay, today is just Saturday. It feels like, so on Monday or Tuesday, it was like, oh, I was not on the show. And then I have a lot to do, figure out on the personal front and professional stuff. Then, okay, it is just Tuesday. It is just Wednesday. My days are going so slow. So I wanted to ask you also that, does that happen with you also sometimes, that you feel that you have a lot to do on your plate and then suddenly you feel that you are getting ample of time from someone or something, or your days go slow because you have a lot of things to do?
I think that happens with a lot of people. We'll start with Jim.
Oh, I was going to say absolutely, but I'm going to pass the ball to you guys for a minute because I have quite a bit more to say, and I don't want to take away time from you guys.
Oh, take your time, Jim.
Oh, okay. Well, you know, that sense of time is definitely not an objective experience. It's subjective, and the subjective part of it makes it feel like it just flew by. Or like 2020, for example, which seems like taking forever to end. Can't wait for 2021, but it's taking forever. But some years I just went by like a blink because I was active, busy, and all of a sudden I looked up and it's September. Whoa, it's September? Well, September couldn't get here fast enough for me. December can't get here fast enough for me. So time is subjective. Now we will kid ourselves by saying that we can objectively measure it, but it depends on the altitude that you're in, the force of gravity that's affecting you, and the speed of acceleration, because you can alter the objective sense of time by the force of gravity, the speed of acceleration, and other factors. So there is a subjective quality to what we're talking about and an objective quality, and both are variables. They are not constants.
Well said. I think that's what. But I think for time, everyone having their own perception, and because my time might be important for me, but that's not important for others as well. So that's also, there's a lot of combination on that as well. Billy, what do you have to say about that?
I put time, or I classify time into like project blocks. Okay. So per week or per day, I only take on 3 projects or 3 things that I need to do. No more than 5. Otherwise, all your tasks becomes overwhelming. Like oh, I need to do this, I need to do this, I need to do this, or that needs to be done. So I just, at the beginning of the day, I just set up, okay, it's like sorting through my emails. Delete, 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 delete. Only the ones that I really need, I keep. Or I automate the process so that my time is spent, quality time, doing things that I love doing. And things that I don't like doing, either I automate or I delegate to somebody else so that I look after my time and cherish it and look after it.
I think according to me, time is something which you can plan and manage on your own, because sometimes when I plan my time that I have to spend like 1 hour on this project, sometimes I spend like 30 minutes and sometimes we spend ending 10 hours as well. So time management, people who understand time management, I think they can excel well in their, personal life and careers as well. That's what I believe, because I try to organize the time the way I wanted to do. But whenever there is something addition happen in between, then everything got changed basically, and then you have to wait for next day, because you can't fix that time at that particular day. And then I have to see, okay, today looks like a messy day, or maybe which is not in my control. So let's focus on the next day, because I don't want to use control word, but sometime. So suppose I'll give an example. Whenever I join IBM TV show, and whenever I'm late on the show, it's like that I'm not in control, and I'm losing the touch basically. And that also helps in losing the confidence of the I don't know what's happening, because you won't be able to relate with the talks, and then you feel yourself that you are behind time. And I think the best way to do it, let's wait for the next day and then try to have things on place. But also on the other end, I believe that if I have to meet someone at 10 o'clock or whatever the time we have, if I reach there 5 minutes early or 10 minutes early, I'm in full control and I'm in full confidence, because I own that place. But if you are late, then you are almost, you are late for a lot of things. And you might, lose your confidence as well. That's what my belief is. But time is something which is very crucial and important for everyone's life. And I certainly believe in time. Whenever I mark my work, there's a time priority and there's a time plan as well, that how much time I have to devote on all the things. So time is very crucial.
But you make a very good point about things that are in your control and things that are outside your control. Because before I met Ankit, I had my time management down, just nailed. And after I met Ankit, my time is just blown up. And I have no control over it anymore. Ankit has a lot to say about my time management. So there are things you cannot control, and you just have to respond to, react to. But there are things that you can control. And these things that are sometimes variable, sometimes they don't go exactly the way you thought they would, and you have to adjust. You have to adapt to the new variables. But there are things that you can calm yourself down by just taking them in. Like Willie was suggesting, what he was saying is no more than 5. After 5, I lose my ability to manage, and I lose my stress management as well. So.
I'm so glad you share that, Jim. So here, what I was talking is like time into different dimensions. One is the materialistic time, which we all measure, like it's 7:40 p.m. in India, or I have 1 hour to complete this. The other, which I felt during last 1 week or maybe couple of weeks, is the time on an energetic level, where you have a lot on your plate, and as Willie said, you have to prioritize everything, that what you need to do, what you need to pick up at what time, and how will you execute it, all that. But then suddenly you feel that, okay, even if I have 100 things on my plate right now, and I have 24 hours time or daytime in a materialistic world, where we say the tangible thing. So in that space also, it feels that someone is allowing you more time, like you have 48 hours in 24 hours. And that actually happens, and I'm glad that Ankit and you both brought that control and out of control topic, because when you surrender in that energetic time zone, your materialistic time zone also shifts. So even if I have 24 hours, I might feel that I have 48 hours to complete a given task, or I have 48 hours a day. So that's how it works, and that's what I felt. There's a lot, and you all know there's a lot of things going at the personal front, office, and everything. But it feels that okay, that's fine. That I have to run here and there and everything, but still I have time to manage. And that is how, and that's why I wanted to bring this up today, because a lot of my friends and people also ask, how can you manage all this in the given time? So this is how you do when you surrender your control, because you do not want you yourself to do it, but you uh, surrender to someone or something that will allow you to do it on your behalf. Then it's done. It's just work done.
Very well said.
Good.
So, Anandmai, would you like to share about our Samay, so-called Samay from Mahabharata, and what happened to that? And because our viewers would like to know, especially viewers outside India, because they are not aware about that concept. But we are following that concept since a while now. And then, I mean, earlier when they don't have the watches, so we used to have pair like one pair is 3 hours a day or something like that. So,
Yeah.
you elaborate on that?
Yeah, of course. So there's this mythological serial based on an epic written by who wrote Mahabharata? Ankit?
Samay.
Somewhere wrote Mahabharata. Okay, okay, good one. So when it was telecasted on TV, so it started by saying "मैं समय हूँ." It means I am the time, and then he used to narrate the story. And the beauty of it, and how why we took this, is that the time was sitting in present, and it was talking about the past and the future. So what happened in the past and what's going to happen in the future, and everything was being broadcasted on the television, and the Samay was talking in the background. Earlier, when there was no watches and stuff, so people used to see the position of sun and moon and stars, and they used to tell what peher is this, what Ankit was saying. So I think for 3 hours there was one peher, or 4 hours was one peher, and they
Three.
used to 3 hours. Yeah, thank you, Ankit. So 3 hours was one peher, and then they used to calculate the time, and from there this concept came that even and actually Mahabharata is a story of brothers, like cousins, fighting with each other over land and property, and so many other different things. But the concept or the basis of it was good versus evil, and this is the time when we say that the Kali Yuga started. From where we say that the time will have its impact on people who are living in Kali Yuga, and they will be more evil than good. So, and that is the what I see it as a projection, that even if you are in here and now and present, you are worrying about the past and the future, and you are just ruining your own time, which is here.
I
Well
couldn't
said.
agree.
Totally agree. Totally agree.
Totally agree. Yes, and so live in the present. But you know, I have a science background, and if you could accept for a moment the proposition that there was a Big Bang, so before the Big Bang, there was no such thing as time and space as we think of it now. Afterwards, there was space and time. So there was t equals 0, then t equals 1, and at that time, space starts. And so that space and time expansion, the time-space element, continues. Now, it's impossible for me to think that we are on the extreme end of that we are way out at we are somewhere along that line. There is our time, what we consider our present. And when we look through telescopes into the past, what we call the past, and we see stars that were formed, you know, billions and billions of years ago, we think of that as the past. But the past is really what happened before we happened. So, and we cannot see that, and that is not the future that our present is going to expand into, because that will always have been ahead of us, in fact, in time. So this concept of time, I think, has just been reduced to our immediate experience, and it's very productive to experience it only as we experience it. So be in the moment, your moment. And don't kid yourself that isn't the only moment in time, but it's the only moment that you have. So treat it like it's a precious gift.
Yeah.
And
Thank you
and
for
also I
sharing.
believe that, I mean, if we start, as what Jim said, if we start appreciating, or if we start accepting or taking other time seriously, we can definitely manage the time much more better. Because generally what happens is that I am managing my time. I don't know what about you. I don't care about you. But if we start working on other people's time, and then taking those time as seriously, that okay, their time is also as important as my time, I think a lot of problems can be solved. Because it happens that my truth is different from your truth, my time is different from your, my time is important and your time is not important, and stuff like that. And that happens over a period of time. But I just wanted to mention one thing. I don't know, but I've realized that whenever I'm Jim, especially for you, basically, so whenever I'm crossing from South Korea to California, so we have to go against the time.
Yeah.
And I've realized, because I took that flight couple of times, and I've realized that I somehow I got a lot of sweats, and I just lose out my, I mean, I don't know what happened to my, I mean, emotions and stuff like that. And then I don't know what happened, but I checked it online a lot of times. But because when people cross that travel time from one city which is like very ahead than the other one, and then you cross by an via airplane or via airport or whatever it is.
Many time zones.
Yeah, so you have some kind of a imbalance in your body. Do you know about something like that?
Oh, absolutely. You know, in the West, we call that jet lag.
No, jet lag happens from when we travel from India to US as well. But from Korea to California, if you check out online, if you fly over Atlantic, there is always a problem. There's a lot of conspiracy theories about flying from Atlantic. And I mean, from past like 7 or 10 years, I have seen a lot of people are celebrating New Year twice. So they start the New Year from Japan or China, and then they come down to US as well. So
Yeah.
they have twice celebration of New Year, and that's a trend going on right now. But but what I've realized is that I've deep down and read about a lot of blogs about people while traveling from ahead time zone to the before time zone. They have some kind of body imbalance, or they have some kind of heart burning, or whatever it is. I mean, maybe a headache or things like that, and then
Well,
they
it's
need
like,
time to get back to that. Yeah,
yes. And for me in California, it's flying to London or Paris. It's the same experience.
yeah, maybe.
Right.
But
Thank
I
you for
think
sharing this, Ankit. I will read about this because this sounds to be very interesting. Because I have
yeah,
heard about the jet lag, and I have heard about people panicking in the flight when going into different time zones. So that can be psychosomatic or just psychological, or maybe because people have fear of height, or maybe they have acidity before they boarded the plane. There could be a lot of physical elements as well. But now when you're telling me this, I think I should read about it more, and to find out that what is it actually that it affects people in like in that extent.
Well,
so
you're
certainly,
one thing. If you travel great distance, you go from a nocturnal experience to a day into the daylight when you still think you are having a nocturnal experience. So that
maybe.
your brain is off from your reality. So you find yourself in the middle of a day when you think your body thinks you should be sleeping in your
Maybe.
bed.
Hmm.
And
That
so
also.
there's this also that's going on, and it does have a mental, physical, and spiritual aspect to it.
Yeah.
No, I
So
think
yeah,
that could also be
I
a
will read
problem.
more
Because
about it.
yeah, because we need daylight as well as we need nightlight as well. And if we don't feel that in a day's time, or maybe in 24 hours time, we fall out somewhere basically. So that might be an issue in that case as well.
Yeah, it's not only with the brain's consciousness, as we always talk that the body has a different conscious level. So
Yeah.
sometimes, so when you're fast asleep, and then you say that my body was shivering and I woke up. So why was your body shivering? Because your brain is also sleeping with you. You are not sleeping, you're not conscious. Sorry, you're sleeping, so you're not conscious. So but you said that I woke up because I was shaking up. So why your body was shaking up? So your body's consciousness work in a different way, a very different way. So yeah, a good topic to read.
I mean, there is a series coming up on one of our OTT platform about JL50. And Jim, as per the series, they said that the plane landed after 35 years.
Oh yeah,
So that
yeah.
so that
Mhm.
airplane was vanished for 35 years, and then suddenly it got landed after
It's
35
landed
years.
now.
And they're talking
Yeah,
about time.
Yes,
yeah.
I know that series and I've watched it, and
Yeah.
it's very provocative because all the self-reporting of something that people go through, that they have no knowledge that time has passed, and when they come off the plane, they debark, and all of a sudden they see people that used to be a certain age and they're much older now, and it's very shocking. And they're a psychological adaptation was the fascinating part of it to me.
Yeah, so a couple of weeks ago, we were talking about the one show which when Rakesh was also there. We were talking about a show which is again on a OTT platform, and it talks about time travel, parallel universe, and it has 3 seasons. And I watched that in I guess 1.5 or 2 days. The entire 3 seasons. It was so. Uh,
3 years passed in a day and a half. Yeah.
yeah, it was like that. And my mother was like, why are you not sleeping? I said, okay, I will say sorry to myself for not sleeping, but let me watch this. That's so addictive that I just wanted to know what happened in the end. Why, how can they do it? I just wanted to know the how and why.
So,
But
so,
when I
so, so, coach, whenever you want to watch a series and if you want to know the end, just go to the end part. That's it.
you know,
I
you
used
know,
to do
Ankit,
that in English class. Yeah,
it
they
is,
sign
it
this
is,
big book. I'll just look at the end, look at the beginning.
it is said that more than the destination, the journey matters.
Now, that is very typical of people who are big picture person. A big picture person is not into the details. So for them, it's just a big picture. So like Ankat is saying, just go to the end. That's when you use that terminology, you talking big picture person. Okay.
Yeah.
The details is, you'll notice that I'm big picture person. My wife is details. So yes, lots of conflict. We have lots of conflict. So when I say things, I need to be very specific so that she
Mindful.
can grasp it. Yes,
Yeah.
mindful that it's specific. Or else we have what did you say? What did you say? What did you say? Like it's like 3 or 4 times that it's sinking.
No, that's
The other
very
thing
true.
I
Because,
like is time is also energy.
yeah.
Time and energy. And also the collectiveness. When we're together, we uplift our energy. And when we do things on our own, we sort of like, so that when you have co-founders and other people in your team, your energy level comes up and your project, your startup like grows, bang, because of the energy everybody brings into that.
Certainly.
Yeah, of course, because as before you joined, just few minutes ago, me, Ankit, and Jim, we were talking about the collective energy, how Ankit takes the energy and then transmits it to everyone. And that is so true. Like I can say this for everyone who comes on the show, that no matter what is going outside their room's door where they're sitting, but when they come here on this platform and they start talking, they start sharing, things shifts. So this the
Yeah.
person who walks in the room before the show is not the same person who walks out. The person who walks out has always something great to carry with them, or maybe not new things, but just a reminder, as Willie said, that prioritize your thing. And that was my reminder. Oh yeah, I have to prioritize my thing. Why I'm taking everything on me? There are 10 people who can work for me, then why I'm taking everything? So
Right.
yeah, just those reminders, and those are much more important than having a new learning every day.
I have
Totally agree.
one more thing to add on. I mean, what I've realized is that suppose if I want to help Jim or if I want to help Willie, now the problem is that with a lot of people, if I am helping them out, I wanted to help from my time zone. I mean, I wanted to help according to my time limit. But the other person expects that I should help them according to their time limit. And that is also a cause of a problem because I don't know what is it a time ego or whatever, but everyone having their own schedule and time limit. And I don't know how we can manage it out. But because of this, people won't be able to help each other.
Well,
Yeah. So
Ankit, this is a big problem in corporate America today because what we do is think about US time, but it's a
Yeah.
global economy now. And so we have to be considerate of other people's time zones. And
Yeah.
so what we have found is that communication is your strongest tool to address this because you communicate and you mutually agree upon a time that is mutually convenient for both of you. And then you plan accordingly. And so
Certainly.
both of you show up at the time that you already agreed upon. But if I say, Ankit, I'm doing this at 10 o'clock my time,
Yeah.
I have no idea what that means to you.
I understand.
So I've got to say, Ankit, I would like to do this meeting between you and me between this time and that time. What works for you? And then you say, well, this won't work, but this will. And I say, oh yeah, I can meet you there. So
yeah.
it's
So as you were saying, Ankit, that couple of people, they don't respect other people's time or how they want to do it for you. So all these things, and as you're saying that somebody will come up like, no, I want your help at this time, even if it's a midnight for you. So these things, they come from a place of ego, which you mentioned, and it also comes from a place of control, that no, I want to control you, I because I am the senior person. So there are different type of complexes that, because, so for example, if I say that, oh, I am coach, I have full right to call you whatever time you want because I am the coach, so I will start booking you at odd hours. And then for few days you will, or there in India especially, for few days people cater their requests and do the work at odd hours and everything. But after the time they start saying, no, I can't do it, or they come up with different excuses and stuff. But this is not a healthy thing. And but as Jim said, that we can have, like we can say, okay, this is my time, schedule from 7 o'clock and 10 o'clock, with what time suits you, and then we both can meet at a center. There's one of my client, and I have been like, we have not started taking any sessions. So every time he will message me at like 1 o'clock at night, or maybe after that, saying, oh sorry, I forgot to message you, just to make me understand that he's always late. So I told that I do not take a session after 6 p.m. Uh, on very different, like if it's very urgent, I can push it to 9 o'clock for you, not beyond that. And he is trying his level best to push me to like 11 o'clock at night, or maybe 12 o'clock at night. And that's not how I work. So I told him, and he makes sure that he messages me at like after 12 at night, so that I know that, oh, he was again late today as well. But that doesn't work. So I said that, okay, this is my time, I can push myself this at this time only. If you want to work for yourself, you're most welcome. If not, then there are other people who will work for you for. And he said, whatever you charge and everything. And I'm like, no, there's nothing about the money. It is about the time and the boundaries which we want to. It is about respecting other people's time. If I cannot join, or if any of you cannot join, we have this ethic to at least inform the other person that I won't be able to join, or this is my time limit. Because we are communicating to each other, we are open. But if I come and say, no, I am giving you 10,000 bucks, and then you put me at 6:30 or 9:30 or whatever, like that, it doesn't help. It doesn't work for anyone. So this is what I was thinking yesterday, also in the show, that if we all take the responsibility of what we are doing, no matter if we are individuals, if we are medical professionals, or if we are into media houses, I think 80-90% of the problem will be solved just like that, just by taking up the responsibilities what we are supposed to take. We all talk about our rights, that it is my right not to wear the mask, it is my right to talk whatever I want to talk on the road, it is my right to do this, that, and it is my right for good roads. But who is littering the roads? Us. Who are, I have the right to breathe the fresh air, but who is cutting the tree? How are you feeling, Kim, today?
Oh, thank you for asking, Coach Kumar. It's been quite a struggle since a couple of weeks ago, but I think I'm coming back. My eyes struggle the most, and we're still trying to figure out. But focusing, praying, all the things that you have taught me help things calm, and then you work past, as you know, you work past these things. Today's a special day for me.
Oh.
It's the Kentucky Derby that was postponed, and I got my hat. I want to share it with you guys.
All right.
Wow.
So,
And also, today in India we celebrate Teachers' Day. Today is our official Teachers' Day. Teachers' Day in India.
it is Teachers' Day, isn't it? I was reading about that this morning.
And teacher means coach is also a teacher, so we have to thank our coach and teacher, Coach Kumar.
Absolutely.
We should thank each other because we all are teaching something or the other to each other.
You know, it takes a community, right, to teach the world, and that's one of the things that I enjoy about us, is that we connect together with like-minded goals, right? And let me share with you my hat, because we have to make our own hats, and we're not going to be able to get together this year, but you know, normally it's in spring, right? So I take an old hat and I'll decorate it up. But you know, we like to use a lot of tulle and everything. But I put a pony right there.
Oh.
And of course, my streamers and stuff like that. So so here's my hat for Kentucky Derby Day. I picked my horse already. So
Kimberly, did you know that purple was Coach's color?
Yes, I did. It's a spring color. It means many things, right? Some doctors tell me purple means morning. Other doctors tell me it means royalty, you know, good thoughts, that you're progressing. So the color purple has a very powerful message in many ways, but it is a good color. But you know, today is such, to me, more than that. Because more than the horse races, I just like them. And the teachers, you know, we need to be thankful for the teachers, especially now that they're entering this new world. Like, to me, the teachers have the biggest challenge of them all. I don't think our leaders had a big challenge. I think our teachers have this big challenge of how to engage with the children virtually. They tried to do it here. Where the kids showed up to the class. I'm not quite sure what happened, because I haven't seen children at the school in the past 3 days. Well, the past 3 days. So I don't know if they can't. I haven't kept up with all of that. It's just too much for me to maintain. But spiritually, we need to keep our act together, right, Coach Kumar?
Yeah.
Well, Kimberly, I don't know what's going on with your eyes, but they look just fine to me.
Well, thank you. But, you know, sometimes things look fine on the outside, and they're not on the inside.
Right.
And we see that. And I heard a vet say this one time at a huge event. He said, what you see on the outside isn't always what's on the inside. Don't judge me, because I do have disabilities. So, and don't judge people, right? I have to sometimes use the my parking pass for handicap. I don't look it,
right.
But sometimes I go, you know what, my doctors are right. It's time I use it. And of course, I know people look at you negative for doing that, but there are times, and I don't use it all the time. They get mad at me. Why don't you use this? Because I don't need it, right? But don't judge people on the outside, right, Coach Kumar?
Yes.
Because I'm beautiful on the inside. It may not look that way, but
our book covers.
You're always beautiful, Jim. You're always beautiful.
Thank you, Willie. I needed that.
Beautiful.
And I love the way you put this, Jim. I really love the way you put whatever you want or whatever it is. You beautifully put your words. So I like that.
Thank you.
Yes, you do. And you're very genuinely kind to people. And I think that's missed in this day and time, are the people's intentions, right?
But there is one more quality with Jim, is that it's easy with anyone to be friends with Jim, because he's always humble and he's always invited. Let's have a talk. And then he never talks about that I'm very old and senior and all those stuff, because I've never experienced it. And I told to my family that everyone is so easy to go. And no one asked me that you are so young, why are you asking and doing all those things? And we are senior and all this stuff, because This we have faced a lot of times in India. That if I talk to someone who is like 50 years, he said, I know a lot of things from, more than you. Why are you teaching me? Or why are you telling me all this stuff? And I've never, it's not just about gym, but for everyone, but especially with gym, because we used to communicate a lot on Messenger. It's not happening since a week or so, but generally. And then nothing of that sort happening. But gym personalities, like, it's easy to make friends, and then it's very friendly, and
So is
there is no
Willie.
basically.
Yeah, we've got a team like that. We got a very unique, awesome team. Everyone seems to have that level of humility, which I think experience has taught us humility, right? But Willie, I mean, he's been coming on for 2 years now. I think we've been meeting with Willie. Yay. Actually, he was Money Master's first big fan. He would constantly say, I really like your show. And I just
Flattery gets you everywhere, Willie.
well, and I appreciated, even if I felt like he was our only fan. I appreciated those one good words every once in a while, just made you feel like you could keep going. But that's what this is about, is that one good word, right?
Well, and also to talk about Willie a little bit, his startup philosophy is about holding the hand of the people through the whole process.
Yeah.
And where did he come up with that? Most people with startups are in and out. I'm the attorney. I'm going to take care of this and get out. I'm the accountant. I'm going to take care of this and get out. And Willie's philosophy is to take their hand at the start and walk them every step of the way, and only let go when they're successful.
Well, that's it. That's
Absolutely.
it. That's caring, and that's what we're about. Yes, Ankit.
According to me, I've seen Willie since more than around maybe 18 months or so, maybe more than that. And I've never seen a person who is the best listener I've seen so far, because Willie is one of the best listeners I've seen. He's better than Sasha as well, because sometimes Sasha is listening, but he's doing a lot of other work. But Willie is constantly listening to you, and he's constantly thinking and learning about you. But I think the next tag for Willie, as we given Coach Kumar a name, I think it should be Startup Professor.
Oh, I like
Willie.
that. The Startup Professor. I like this new look.
Oh, no, come on, Dr. Startup.
Startup
Startup.
Professor.
Dr. Startup.
Startup alchemist.
Alchemist.
Startup.
Ooh, you're getting a little weird on me, Willie.
I still like Professor. I like that.
Professor is very genuine, and it goes like you are talking about education and training and all those stuff, and people can connect easily with professors rather than with alchemists and all those things, because with the name they think that there is something serious coming up. So that's what.
It definitely resonates respect. It really does.
Okay, so Professor Startup, Professor, how do we shorten it? Any idea?
Prof.
Prof. SU.
Prof. SU?
Or SU Prof. Or SUP. Sup.
What's up? What's up, Willie?
Professor Willie from Startup Australia. So Prof. Willie, Australia.
Yeah, Professor Willie from for Startup Australia. I think first off, Startup Academy. I think we need to start a Startup Academy. I don't know if those exist, but maybe where we can give them certifications, and we can do it right here on IBM TV. But let's get.
You won't believe with Startup Academy and professors, I think we got a new show name with Professor Willie. And also with Startup Academy, I think the blueprint is already ready, because Willie and me, we have discussed 6 months back about the global internship. Remember, Willie? So we can put that on Startup Academy.
And you can sell my book. And I got a second book started, and it's about the more academic parts of how to put together your business plan, your financials, and the things that they want. This is more about, do you really want to be a startup, right? This is more about, do you want, what it's going to take, what's involved, and people who've read it said, wow, I would have never thought of those things. But I've been doing it for many, many years, not just now. But you can sell my book, or maybe I'll just donate them. What the heck?
Coach, is there a spiritual aspect to starting up as well as the technical aspect?
There is the resilience component. The resilience component.
Resilient.
ability to get
Consistent.
up when you fall down. And there's like a spiritual element to that. Because for me, you need the energy to pick yourself up. Okay. And energy is what we're trying to teach. Time, energy. Look for something. Startup is not an academic exercise, but a lot of people like to think it is.
I know,
It's not.
right? It's not. It's persistence. Chapter 5.
Yes.
So chapter 5, I write about the most important part, and then I wrap it after that. So to me, there's P's to this, but that's anything in life, right? But you need to have a purpose.
He's poor as pie.
Yeah, you need to have a purpose and pride, because without pride, it's not going to be worth anything. You need to definitely get up and pursue it, but you need to be planned and prepared. But persistence is so that you can become prosperous and profitability. There's so many P's. Plan and prepared so you can protect it. I mean, it's just, but yes, and I didn't mean to answer for Coach Kumar, but there is a huge spiritual aspect and to anything in life, anything. But
and really, when you talk about falling down, getting back up, there's an inertia effect when you're falling. You have to overcome that inertia. That's where it requires energy, because you feel like, oh, I fell down, I should just get back up. It's not so easy. There's an inertia.
Well,
and sometimes you have someone to help you up.
It depends on what you fall off of too, right? If you fall off a bike or a horse, or if you fall off of or if you just fall down emotionally, it can be embarrassing. And so you have to shove that pride aside and say, okay, some humbleness here. What do I need to do? But you need to accept. And again, that goes back to some of the things Coach Kumar was teaching us in the beginning is, we all want to be accepted, but sometimes you have to accept. And that's it's just so much. It is. Startup is very spiritual.
Well, and Sharif has just joined us, and I think he's got a smart soul. So what do you got to say, Sharif?
Youngest one here.
Yes.
Youngest.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So basically, for the souls and this kind of things, what can I tell you? I'm actually practicing Muslim. So when I'm a practicing Muslim, my major job that 5 times I have to pray. So me and my wife, my family, we are always trying to do our necessary prayers. And beside that, actually the subcontinent, especially India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, they do a lot of practice spiritualities and this kind of things. And whatever we do, we believe that everything comes from God. And we do hard work. Definitely we do hard work. That our belief is something that we get everything from God based on our luck and based on the hard work. So and most important thing is that I told you that when my father died in front of me, actually completely my perceptions and my views and everything's actually change. And when you see, I don't know, maybe you have experience, but when you see in front of you someone died and who is actually very close to you, so which is really important. So that is the time I actually learn a lot. I learned that what the meaning of the real life. I learned that what should I do. I learned that what should be my objective of life. So that time I after that, after my father died, I even not only that, like that time actually my grandmother alive that time. So I have the responsibility as a elder sons. I have to bring my father dead body to my grandmother's. And it was really painful for me because a mother cannot share the pains, and it's really painful. So that time actually all of my demands and everything is step by step I reduced all of my plans and everything. And yes, I find is small is beautiful, less is more. So the less I have demand, the less I have dependence on other people's and other things. So I'm more happy. So that is the things. Even sometimes I'm discussing about politics, or I'm discussing about that. Yes, sometimes I do joke. I said that I'm not for millionaires, I'm for millions. So yeah, my father did actually give me a lot of learning. And I don't know, it's called spirituality or miracle, whatever it is. Actually, that time my father was very sick. So my mother said that, please you come, and your father need to, I need to send her in Indian intensive care unit. So right away from Malaysia I go back to Bangladesh. I can remember early in the morning I arrive Bangladesh. So when I arrive, after a few hours, because I'm taking preparation to shift him in the intensive care unit. But after when we see each other, then my father died. So actually, I don't know, whatever we are doing, everything under our control, or someone, God, Allah, whatever it is, like maybe they are controlling our activities. So yeah, this is the things I want to say. The most important religions or spirituality and soul, whatever we do, we should have to do for human being. And always we have to respect human being, and always we have to think whatever we are doing, we have to create something good for human being. I think that is called religion, that is called spirituality. So the more I do for human being, I feel good.
I think,
That's
Sharif, I just wanted to add that with human being, you wanted to talk about the nature and environment, and including our living beings as well, because it's not just about human
Exactly.
beings in the
No,
world.
definitely, definitely,
Yeah.
definitely. Even example, as much as possible, I try to being vegetarian. My family also trying to being vegetarian. What the issue? I also think that every animals has the same pain, same
Yeah.
things, right? So whatever we do, like I have my same feelings and emotions. So let's say every animal has same emotions and feelings, and maybe more or less. But definitely, religion actually very important according to even Asian cultures and Asian continent. I want to say religion is very important role. But yeah, fact is that there are many pros and cons, advantage and disadvantage. But whatever we do, definitely we have to do for the betterment of human being, or what you are talking about, the natures and everything. We have to take some good initiative. Otherwise it's not, it's everything is meaningless. So that's the issue. Sometimes I have to do debate, sometimes I have to do argue, sometimes I have to take some challenges, and I have to go against the dot. But thanks, I can say one thing, that after my father died, my complete philosophy and everything changed, and I try to do whatever the good for the most of the human being. Maybe sometimes I'm wrong, I do not want to say I'm 100% correct, but this is my intention, and this is the spirituality for me.
and
I
that's good.
completely agree with you, Sharif. And we were discussing earlier, Ankit, that if we take the responsibility of what we are doing as citizens, as humans, so if we think that someone who is our boss, and if we are employed by someone, what do? We just take care of the work which is allocated to us. We do not think that, oh, we are in control or we are the bosses. This is what we are doing with our environment and with our mother earth. Someone like divine god, or the other big bang for that matter, created the universe, created the earth. Even before we came, plants and animals were there on the earth, right? So, and what we started doing, because we are humans, because we are talk and communicate in certain languages and in certain way, we started thinking that, okay, we are the boss. Now if we are the boss, we have full right to cut all the trees, eat all the animals. We played a video also, Kim, you remember that the person who the alien took away. So that's how we are destroying everything, and then we are thinking that we are the boss, we are the gods. And then when things like Corona happens, then we think, oh God, what did you do? So we blame it on God. He did not come and tell us that you combine two different genomes or two different viruses together and eat them. It is not good or bad to eat veg or non-veg. It is like eating anything into an extreme way. Even if we are eating all the vegetation of the earth, again we are sitting on the same place, as we are
Yeah.
saying, on the same level we are eating the animals and we are making them extinct. We are killing them for leather. So anything and everything, Gautam Buddha also said this, that anything which is over and above your necessity is poison, which is not required by you is poison. Even if it's thought, water, food, anything you take, you name a thing, and if you take it, like we also say this, anything, जरूरत से ज्यादा कुछ भी जहर है. It's like anything which is beyond your necessity or your wants, your needs, is poison. So why we have to act like God or as boss? Why we are not taking the responsibility of being just the messenger or just the employee of someone who has created this beautiful organization we call Earth? Kim, you're on mute, I
Kim, you
guess.
need to unmute it.
I'm sorry. I want to share a video with you based on exactly what you're talking about, especially about the earth. It's less than a minute. Bear with me a second. And I think you'll find this very endearing on exactly what you're saying and some of the things that we have discussed. Hold on. I need to remove a few things to make this work better. And here we go. Here we go. I think because what you're talking about is, our due diligence for the earth, but this is beautiful. Just said everything I wanted to be said. Here we go. Here we go.
We fell asleep in one world and woke up in another. Suddenly Disney is out of magic. Paris is no longer romantic. New York doesn't stand up anymore. The Chinese wall is no longer a fortress. And Mecca is empty. Hugs and kisses suddenly become weapons. And not visiting parents and friends becomes an act of love. Suddenly you realize that power, beauty, and money are worthless and can't get you the oxygen you're fighting for. The world continues its life, and it is beautiful. It only puts humans in cages. I think it's sending us a message. You are not necessary. The air, earth, water, and sky, without you are fine. When you come back, remember that you are my guests, not my masters.
Love it, love it.
I know. Let me stop this next thing that's happening
Oh,
here.
sorry.
All right. Sorry about that. It seems like it did jump to something else. Wasn't that amazing?
Yeah.
Spot on.
I saw this video a couple of days ago, and from there I started feeling this, that yeah, this is what we have been doing for all these ages.
It was the weirdest thing. I'll open up my phone and then I'll find pictures and videos of things I didn't download, but they're in my video list.
Yeah, I know.
And I'm like, where did this come from? There it was on my phone, like I downloaded it.
I'm sending all the videos to you.
Did you send that to me?
Just joking.
No,
Yeah,
okay.
he's
No, I
kidding.
did not, because I just opened up my video file and there it is.
But
And I go,
Kimberly,
wow.
this is something that I've been saying for a long time, that the COVID is not the disease. COVID is not the virus. We are.
Yeah.
And Mother Earth is telling us, wake up, adapt, mutate if you have to, if you want to stay on this planet.
And I think that's the message I think we were saying from day one when Ankit and I pulled this together is first off, the earth got cleaner, right? When we went to our rooms, we got punished, went to our rooms, the earth became cleaner. She doesn't need us. She's telling us this in a very polite way. She's telling us she does not need us, but we need us. We're here for a reason. But I like the message of we're her guest.
That's right.
We are not the masters. But how often do we go dam up a river? Which I never understood this. We dam up a river to reroute the water. Why don't we just move around the river? You know, what you know, what is wrong with us that we think we have to alter Earth to our needs? And
well, there's a balance. There's a balance to everything. You know, you can use technology wisely to make everyone's lives easier, to provide water where there is no water, to provide pure water where there is no pure water. These are healthy and the times that what Mother Earth wants us to take care of ourselves in those ways. And there's no, technology is not a sin. There's no evil, but it can be used for evil purposes. And that is what we have, the disconnect that we have lost in how we have gotten out of balance is because we're using technology to help people live better lives, to ease the pain and suffering of the human beings or the animals or the flora and fauna. You know, we have to respect them and we have to make sure that they thrive. And we can use our smarts, the intelligence that was given to us, the technology that our intelligence allows us to make for the greater good, but we don't. We use it to make money and we use it for warfare. So, you know, we got to wake up.
Well, some people use it for warfare. Some people sit back and let things happen rather than, you know, intervene. You know, I hear this a lot. Why is this happening? Well, why aren't you doing something about it? No, sometimes it's our job to do things. We let leaders run the show, and it should be the other way around. We put them in place to make sure things are happening to give us quality of life and to protect us from certain elements. But they fail at that. They become non-humble to their position. And but we need to get back to us, to spiritual day, to what we can do to make us happy, feel good. We're all struggling from a lack of whatever happened in COVID. And a lot of the exercise Coach Kumar has given to us to do have helped me. I don't know about you guys, and I'm not 100% due diligence on the write down stuff. My notebook's in the other room, but yeah, but we got our notebooks, right? And one of the things I learned very, very young by a very good coach and mentor in life was to write your things down. And Coach Kumar is teaching us this through activities, right? Because when you learn to write things down, they become permanent. And yes, Ankit.
No, I mean, I think let's get back to Coach Kumar and see what she wants to say about it.
What's your shirt say? What's your shirt say, Ankit?
It's
Captain America.
Isn't that Captain India? That's not quite the color.
Captain India as well, yeah.
Captain
But
India.
our captain just got retired, so we are looking for a new captain now.
We're looking for a new captain. How about you? I nominate Ankit.
He's already Iron Man. He can't be two Avengers. He's Iron Man already.
Instead of Captain America and Captain India, he should become Captain Universe and save us all. Just that's all.
Universe. Yeah.
That's kind of a tall order, Ankit. You can do it.
Power to save everyone. I mean, because we are looking for we need more heroes actually. That's what I was discussing with Kim, that we need more heroes, and we need heroes in different communities, because it's not just we'll talk about one hero and then that hero will save all of us, but we need a lot of heroes at community level, and that's what we can save at this point of time.
Well, we need people who are going to set examples. I thought Matthew Mcconaughey stepped up to the plate really well. When he gave his speech, he did a video and he said that, we shouldn't be shamed about masks. We need to make that this is a good thing. We need to be heroes and wear the mask. I'll find the video. But we need more people stepping up to the plate, and people are not. They're afraid to. They're afraid. It's walking on glass right now. They're afraid to make the statement like my Facebook. If I say one thing one way, the world hits me this way, right? And if I say something this way, the other world hits me this way. So eventually I'm going to stop saying things.
But Kim, take it as that people are watching you and people want to listen from you. There are opinions, but the best part is that they're watching you and they're reading your post, which is very important.
I usually take it as I love to hear what the other side thinks or the way people think. I am that kind of a scientist anyway, but it doesn't. It's sometimes they get a little personal, right? But
welcome to social media. But Kimberly, what I see on your posts is people are saying, I can't figure out where you're coming from, and because you're not taking a stance that they are expecting you to take, you're somewhere. You're asking questions that are not, say, on this side or on this side, and they expect you to be one or the other. And when you're not, you confuse them.
But life isn't black and white to me, so it never has.
I have a question for Coach Kumar. Coach, when we read a lot of spiritual posts from just unknown, anonymous people, we feel relate to it, and then we try to save those posts. But when we read the posts from our friends and family, we don't take them seriously. What do you think about that?
Yeah, so it happens, and it's a very good phrase what we always talk here in India. Ghar ki murgi dal barabar, Ankit. It means that even if you have a chicken curry for the dinner, and if it's made in the home, it is not more than lentil soup.
Yeah.
So that what's happened. And now after I started coming to IBM TV or on different other interviews, or I have given a lot of sessions to my friends and families. Now they come to me and they talk about their problems. Earlier, as I said, they always thought that I am learning some black magic.
Yes.
So it happens with people. And Ankit, also there are two things. Is one that we believe them because they are coming from a lot of how do I put it? Like from a very commercial marketed place, or maybe a hi-fi name which you already know in the spiritual world. Or when you're reading their post, you are relating to it because you are in a situation where when you're viewing that post from your own belief and filter. It happens also when we start listening to some songs and we say, oh, this song was made for me. But that song was not made for you. That was made for everyone. You are relating because you are in that particular situation emotionally, and that is why you are just thinking and relating to that particular thing. So, of course, answering to your question, we always ignore when it comes from a friend or a family, and we always try to take what has written by or maybe fantasize or fancy quotations and with fancy color schemes and everything. We do that. And then we also filter them from our own belief systems, that what emotional state we are in that moment, and that's how we relate to it.
Yes.
No, that's a good. Wow, that's very well thought out. And
welcome, Rakesh. It's so good to see you. Are you going to be a regular again? Can I look forward to seeing you regularly now? Are you stable and
I'm still in the middle of my packing.
Yes. So you're still between.
So I've got all my supports to do my stuff. But
we can virtually support you in packing.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll take care of all of your books.
I have about 6 or 7 cartons of books.
I know. I figured that. Yeah.
And
your ships are empty now. There's
even
no
more
books.
sitting in Auckland. So I'm going to have a wall-to-wall library.
I have something to say to Rakesh, but before that, I get into that. I would like Coach to tell Rakesh what can he do while he's in this in-between space of living in one place and he's going to move to another. And that is typically a very stressful situation. What can he do?
If he's feeling stressed, then there are ways to calm that out. Just breathe in, that was my homework for today. We have to breathe in with 4 counts and breathe out with 8. Slowly breathe in to 4 numbers and then breathe out with 8 numbers. So that's again a quick fix. If you have any troubling thoughts coming in, shift your attention, start breathing. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then suddenly your consciousness or your focus is shifted from the worry to your breath. So this is one of the homeworks which I wanted to share today. But thanks, Jim, that you asked. This is something we can practice when we are in stress situation. Sometimes shifting is fun for people, so I don't always advise them to do it if they're not feeling that the shifting is stressful situation. But if they are, yes, this is something we can try and do.
It's not so much
But
the
I
actual
think
packing; it's the culture shift, because
Yeah, exactly.
from Hong Kong you have one kind of culture, and then though I'm used to New Zealand culture, I've stayed there for 11 years or so. The switch is what gets you, because you have to change behavior patterns, and you're used to certain reaction patterns from the people who live around you, and so that is just, even though I've been in New Zealand, there's some sense of dread.
Yeah, of course. Of course, it's natural.
Yeah, because the reactions and the pace, the change in pace is so. Hong Kong is so fast paced, and New Zealand is considerably
So laid back. So
laid
laid back.
I would just use 4 alphabets: LAZY.
I think it's time.
Yeah, because they're comparable populations, but the difference in GDP is stupendous.
Yes.
And partly because New Zealand is so much a base commodity producer. And if they only shifted out to value add at a greater level, there would be so much less stress in New Zealand. It's a place where children are committing suicide at a crazy rate, and parents are in certain populations just killing their children, and they've had to have a whole organization to protect children. And so for an outsider who's visiting New Zealand, it sounds like Eden, the Garden of Eden. But
Yes.
for somebody who's staying there and who has to live with a very huge, difference in a lot of insecurity, job insecurity. I'm going back with my own business, and I'm not focusing on the New Zealand market. I'm looking at markets beyond New Zealand, so I'm not too worried. But if I was going to choose a business that was only dependent on the New Zealand market, I would be very worried indeed, because the wage, it's a low wage island, the whole country, compared to Hong Kong. And I can charge the equivalent of $70 per hour in Hong Kong. I can charge with great difficulty $50 an hour in New Zealand, and only the creme de la creme would be able to afford my services. So it is. I have to rework my business model and go back to my original business model, and hopefully that is an untested one. So I need to. That's the stress that I'm worrying about. The new model, how will that work?
Well, Kimberly, I don't recognize some of the people that have joined us. Would you mind introducing me?
So you don't recognize Dr. Sagu. Come on.
Oh, yes, it's Dr. Sagu.
He
Oh,
is.
okay, thank you. Okay.
But anyway, we are at the top of the hour. You are watching IBM.TV, and we thank you very much. It is Spiritual Saturday with Coach Kumar, and all the way from India, who takes the time out once a week, sometimes twice a week, to remind us that we need to take a deep breath, appreciate the good things in life that we have, so that we can focus and prosper and move forward. Next to her is Jim Eade, who is the founder of Eade Foundation, but more important, a great supporter of IBM TV, and who helps promote these spiritual needs that we need in our life every day. And then, of course, there's wonderful Sharif, who the School of Economics, but also has some business shows that he engages in and inspiring good habits. Then, of course, there's startup professor Willie from Australia, who is eventually, we're working on some startup shows to inspire people to prosper with their startups. And of course, my beloved Ankit, couldn't do any of this without him. He's like, I would say a brother, but I'm too old for that.
Kimberly.
A nephew. But anyway, but more than that, he is the backbone of what we do here at IBM TV. And I'm very appreciative for him. And that's what Spiritual Day is about, right? And then, of course, Rakesh, I haven't seen him in 2 days in a row. I just feel blessed.
Yeah.
Dr. Sagu, I just, he's going to bring us some good, healthy, but spiritual things. Hi, Dr. Sagu. And then Jeff joined us. Oh my gosh, Jeff, welcome. Are you going to come the gong for us today? So Jeff from Weed Wednesdays, it's not just about, having fun with weed, but it's about a great mission about releasing the people who've been sent to prison for life on nonviolent crimes for smoking pot and maybe selling it, but nonviolent crimes. These nonviolent criminals don't need to be taking up our space in prison. And so I appreciate his efforts. I know they're hard and difficult, but we need more of this happening. And maybe spiritually, if we did things like that, we would feel better about ourselves. But thank you, everyone. And Dr. Sagu, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. Nice to see you all.
You look rested today.
Yeah, I was in the hospital. Just I finished my duties and I did surgeries. Then I came in the evening. Yeah.
Wow, it is evening. It is evening.
Yeah.
You're holding up pretty good. You look fine to me. How can you look? Oh. I get exhausted. I look terrible. How do you do it?
Thank you so much. Thank you, Jim.
Good, healthy habits, right, Dr. Sagu?
That must be it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Doctor has got the 48 hours out of 24 hours energetically, so he's energized.
Yeah, you can tell. That's a good point.
So here we are on Spiritual Saturday. It's been over 6 months since we've been put into this lockdown. We were talking earlier about there's so many children committing suicide right now, which is devastating. That's bad news. How do we evolve a healthier mindset and spirit to set better examples for these children to reach out for help instead of feeling like there's no hope? And a lot of these children probably suffer from not good eating habits. Right now, a lot of children are probably suffering being at home too much. They were used to going to school. There's a lot going on. We say children are resilient, and I agree with that. They are, but the younger children are resilient. This is a life they're molding into. It's the more older children, the middle school age that and up, that I am concerned with. One, because they're not getting the movement throughout the day they're accustomed to. They're not walking to school or going to a bus and walking down the hallways and wiggling in their seats and answering questions and walking down hallways and going to the playground. They might go to a playground, but instead they're rolling out of bed, brushing their teeth and going to the next room to do this. And I am concerned about this. This is going to be our standard way of life. But all of that movement that they were doing all throughout the day, to me, was good movements, right? But we're not getting, even I don't get that. I really woke up this week and realized I roll out of bed, I go out to the garden, I do my prayers, I do my physical therapy. Otherwise, I won't be able to walk. But there's so many steps missing throughout my day. Like I'm not walking to the car and going to the office or traveling and through an airport, which by the way is a lot of steps. So Dr. Sagu, what are some answers for this that we can do to increase our steps, motions?
Yeah, sure. Sure. In this COVID-19, we can say in the COVID time also, this is a crisis time, and we have seen that stresses, they are going up. There are so many reasons for that. There are a lot of factors are there. Even the children, they are isolated at homes. They are studying online. So every day, for the longer and longer period, there is screen time is going up. There is a scientific reason behind this. Whenever you are facing the screen, whenever you are in front of the screen, your dopamine is going on the higher level. So dopamine is the hormone which keeps you activated. So if we talk about what is our biological clock of the body, if we talk about the circadian rhythm of our body, the circadian rhythm is that at some particular time your dopamine has to be on the higher side. At some point of the time, your melatonin should be on the higher side. So if we are activated whole of the day, and even uh, we are not sure about our education also, that is why the stress level is going up. And whenever there is a stress, the one hormone, that is the cortisol, is being produced, and that cortisol, it keeps you activated. There's a certain time in the day when your cortisol has to be on the higher side, but after going on the higher side, it should drop down. What we are doing during the stress time, this cortisol is plateau or it's going up. It never drops down. If it does not drop down, it means we are in the we are constantly, we are increasing the cortisol on the higher side, and that is not good for the health. I think Coach Kumara will also can explain on the better way that when the cortisol is on the higher side, so our brain is activated, and that gives us a lot of stress. And then the other factor is the sleep deprivation. What is the sleep? Because sleep is a very important part, very important parameter, we can say very important vertical in our life. If we have rested well, then definitely our activities can be good. But if we have not rested well, then our activity cannot be good. So if there is a sleep deprivation, we have seen during the sleep deprivation, after 2 to 3 days, our work efficiency, it may, for the elders maybe work efficiency, for the children maybe you can study efficiency. So that definitely goes down. Because what happens, if your biological clock is good, if we have not disrupted the biological clocks, what happens during the sunset? Actually, there is a biological clock inside our hypothalamus and the pineal body. They are going to secrete some sort of melatonin, and that melatonin asks us to stop each and everything and go to sleep. But what we are doing after the sunset, we are looking at the screens. So we have already experienced about the drug addiction, and now this is the screen addiction. So all children, we can say children, or the elder one also, younger one also, they constantly in front of the screens. So when the bright light is there, then the fundamentals of dark and the light cycle, that is synchronized with the biological clock, that goes up. So there is no synchronization. So even after the sunset, when we are in front of the bright light, so melatonin is not being secreted much. So that is why the patients cannot have a good quality of sleep. So that the patients have insomnia, sleep deprivation. So that is an add-on for the stress that will increase the stress. So the good thing is we should be having good habit. There should be a lifestyle modification, and some points for the lifestyle modification so that we can have a good sleep is: number one, we should be cutting our all the gadgets at least 1 or 2 hours before going to the sleep. Number two, we should be cutting the daytime activity at least 1 or 2 hours before going to the sleep. Number three, we should do some meditation activities regarding that. So if we are doing some healthy practices, we are following some healthy practices, I think we can win over the stress. So if the stress level will goes down, definitely we would be more satisfied, and then we can decrease the incidence of the suicide in our children or in the younger age group.
Yes, bravo. Thank you. These are things that we need to reemphasize globally to our community because it just provides us the ability, a foundation to sustain on. And that's very important. We just forget. We just forget. So, Ankit, you're awful quiet today.
I'm just listening because Dr. Sabu needs to talk about sleep, and I was wondering how will I change my sleep pattern over a period of time. And based on the sleep pattern, I'm also change my eating times and eating habits as well, because I have to change my biological clock, and that's what I was wondering how I have changed over a period of time during the COVID thing, and I'm just trying to relate that.
And
Yes,
Dr.
yes,
Sikka,
yeah.
I wanted to ask you, because we were talking earlier about what we in the West call the jet lag. When Ankit is coming from Seoul to the United States, or I'm coming from California to London, there is a disrupt in our sleeping patterns. There's it's bright when we think it should be dark, and those types of things. So would you think that eating or something like how do we change our experience that way? Is there something that we can do to better prepare ourselves for that sort of change? And back to Ankit's point, his sleep schedule is being disrupted. His eating schedule is being disrupted. How do we compensate for those kinds of changes in our lives that force us out of our regular patterns?
Yeah. So, Jim, the answer to your first question is because of the jet lag when we are not able to sleep. Actually, what happens? There is a clock, that is a circadian rhythm is there, that is inside the body, and the external environment cycle is there, that is the light and the dark cycle. So when there is a sunset and we are experiencing some sort of dark, then the melatonin is being secreted, right, from the pineal body. So that melatonin asks us to go to sleep, and that melatonin asks our hypothalamus to decrease the stimulation of the activity centers, so that patient can go to the sleep. So this is the one stage we can say. In the morning when sun rises, then again the darkness is going and the light is coming. So because of the light, again the melatonin is going down. So then our brain or the mind says our body to wake up, right? So this is the circadian rhythm which we have. So this is our internal clock, and the external clock is also there. We can see at the watch there is now 6 o'clock or 5 o'clock in the morning, and our brain is also experiencing that sunrise. But what happens when I'm going from India to United States, right? So my internal clock says it's a 5 o'clock in the morning, and the sunrise or sunset will be there after 12 hours. But even going after 6 hours, again there is a sunrise. So there was sunrise when I was here, it was the daytime, it was a bright light. When I reached there, again there was a bright light.
Right.
So our brain, our mind becomes confused. My internal clock says that is the time to wake up, to sleep, this is the evening time. But my external clock says no, it's a light outside. So the brain get confused. So what we can do to match our internal clock and external clock, what we can do, when we reach there, we should be keeping ourselves ourselves awake till evening, till the sunset is there. So when again sunset will come, then again the melatonin will also be secreted from the brain, and maybe the next 2-3 days again there would be matching of the internal clock and the external clock. So this is the way which we can match our internal and the external clock, and then I think we will not be having the insomnia. So now the answer to your second question is what the Ankit is doing here. Ankit is doing the night shift, I suppose. So if the person is doing the night shift, so what is important during the sleep is the quality of sleep. Some people, they are sleeping for 5-6 hours and they are waking up in the morning very fresh. Some people, they are sleeping for 8-9 hours, but they are sleeping tired. then they may be needing the caffeine, they may be needing the coffee, they may need some brain stimulants. So here, what is important? Important is not the quantity of sleep, it is the quality of sleep. It is the quality of sleep. How your stage 1, stage 2, stage 3 sleeps are going well. Stage 3 is the deep sleep. How you are keeping the stage 3, that the deep sleep, in the good quality. Because in the morning, it is most probably it is a REM sleep, REM sleep. So REM sleep is just before your awakening. So what is important is the quality of sleep, and what is important is the biological clock. It doesn't mean, I mean, earlier they used to say that you go to bed early and rise also early. But now, if you are sleeping at 10 o'clock, if you always regularly every day you are sleeping at 10 o'clock, it's good for you. If you are sleeping 12 o'clock, but regularly you are sleeping 12 o'clock and awakening in the morning at 6 o'clock, so you are maintaining your biological clock. So the same way, if you are sleeping at 6 o'clock in the morning, every day you go to bed at 6 o'clock in the morning, you make the environment of your room as a dark, so that the bright light should not be coming, and your pineal gland should not be secreting the melatonin. So if you can match the environmental cues and your internal biological clock, if you can synchronize both of them, I think you can sleep in the daytime also. But the important is the biological clock. You have to sleep according to the biological clock, and you have to awake according to the biological clock.
Yes. Thank you so much for that. Jeff, do you have a question, Jeff?
I do. No, I have a comment. Can you hear me?
So apart from sleeping habit, also I make sure that I eat on the same time, because when I woke up, it's like a breakfast time, and then
Yes.
eating.
Then you have to adjust yourself, because we cannot change the timing of your work. At least we can change, or we can adjust the timing of your sleep and your awakening. We can change your timing of your eating and your drinking. So that has to be matched properly, so that your biological clock should be working in the right way.
And also, Dr. Sabu, I mean, what do you think about power sleep? Because I generally take a half an hour power sleep. I know that I have to just sleep for half an hour, and I just sleep it for half an hour, and then I'm as fresh as I can. And I mean, I follow that pattern as well.
Yeah, if your sleep patterns are slightly disrupted, because ideally the sleep pattern is at night. You should be sleeping at 10 o'clock and waking in the morning. So ideal is that is the sleep cycle. But if you have disrupted your cycle because of your work, then definitely you can have some sort of naps. You can have a 30-minute nap. You can have a 45-minute nap. So that nap will again give you some balance in your hormone, because there should be balance between this melatonin, between the GABA, and between one more hormone. So I'm forgetting that hormone. But all three hormones, the balance of all these three hormones it should be on the right way to have a good quality of sleep.
Wonderful. So, and Dr. Sabu, also there is one more practice which I follow. Is like, suppose in the past, if I'm sleeping like 8 and 10 hours a day, based on what I do, and then now I'm sleeping like 4 to 6 hours a day. So I'm trying to balance my sleep as well. I don't know whether it's a concept or not, but sometimes what happens is that I sleep over like more than 8 hours, and sometimes I sleep for 4 hours, and I'm stressed as I can. So is it a kind of a balancing of sleep? You can manage it out for your body over a period of time?
The duration of the sleep doesn't matter. What matters is the quality of sleep. If you are sleeping for 5-6 hours, that is more than enough, but that has to be very good. You have to do some good practices before going to bed. You can do the breathing exercise to calm down. At least, I mean, you have to cut yourself off from your activity level. Cut yourself from the daytime. There should not be any much thoughts, any activity of the brain while going to bed. Also, the food is also very important. As we discussed earlier, also we should not be taking the simple sugars. If we can take some complex carbohydrate, that would be good during the sleep. And we should not be drinking much of water during the sleep. Maybe if you want to drink water 2 hours before the sleep, you can drink water, so that you should not be frequently awakening for your natural call.
Okay. That's a good discussion about sleep, and I think we should have. I mean, a lot of people don't have a good sleeping habit, but if we have a good habit, that will also help you in good health and well-being.
Yeah, cycle should be maintained. That is very important.
Dr.
I think-
Sagu, I have these glasses, these sunglasses that block out the blue light, so that when I'm looking at a screen of any kind, it should not trigger the production of the hormones that I do not want to be triggered at that time. Do you think that's effective, or just avoid the screens entirely?
No, actually, I mean, these glasses will not prevent you to stimulate some sort of receptors in the retina. So that retina actually stimulates the suprachiasmatic nucleus in the hypothalamus. So that reflux cycle we cannot break while putting on goggles or any type of the glasses. So glasses cannot prevent, they will not escape you from the radiation you are getting. You are getting your retina stimulated, and from retina your hypothalamus is being stimulated.
Can I demand my money back then?
So you can claim your money back for that. Even it is said there is some sort of minute ray of the brightness in your room while you are going to bed that can also stimulate your hypothalamus. So that is why it is said that there should be complete darkness while you are sleeping.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's very important. I think we must follow that. I think Jeff needs to ask a question. Jeff, you want to say something?
I do. I have a comment on children and suicide. I have a solution that assisted all of us when we were children, because we're now stewards of online live medicine. What we do, what we say, is in the Akashic records every day. It goes to heaven if we're doing pure thought, and we're being authentic as teachers and as communicators, not just adults, talking back and forth to each other and say blah 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 and blah blah blah. I believe in the Quran, I believe in the Bible, I believe in the Gita. They all say the same thing. But my solution to the suicide approach for medicine for children that are online is a very simple one, and I grew up with it. And it was Mr. Rogers, it was Captain Kangaroo, and it was Hobo Kelly when I was a kid. And they would come on, at lunchtime, and the children would sit at lunchtime and have an adult come in and put their shoes on and put a sweater on and talk gently and say, "You're doing great today. We're going to grow a plant today. Here's the seed. Put it in the dirt." And they take their minds away from blame and shame and the troubles of the world, especially from bad video games and things that are confusing them. And so we need a new icon. We need more people in every language that are and to make a wave of new Mr. Rogers shows that are exciting. I mean, I'm colorful. I've got the animations going, and I'm not really that one, but I could be. But for children, if we're worried about the spike of suicides, then I do believe food is emotional and very important. Because I've been a raw foodist. I don't cook my food for 17 years, and it works for me. So I know the spirituality of food. When I eat food or even meat, I feel that energy, me, and so I only speak for me all the time. But Mr. Rogers was so gentle, and he would talk with the children, not at the children. And then there was Hobo Kelly, and there was Captain Kangaroo, and they would have beautiful cartoons that would enlarge their hearts to stay here. Don't worry, it's okay if you're different, Mr. Rogers would say. And so I think that's the main solution to keeping children on board the planet, so they can have fun and realize that because they're different, it's okay.
No, it's well said.
I completely agree with you, Jeff, what you're saying. It's just that assuring your child that no matter what good, bad, or ugly you have done, we are there and we'll sail through it together. So just that assurance makes a hell lot of difference in what they will become or what they will think about themselves.
It's about confidence and gentleness. And the I found out that the reason people shoot people, not only in war but in the playground, is because the media makes them heroes. They put them on TV, so there's copycats. And if we have some spiritual leader that's a cartoon animal, that's a beautiful soul that comes on with so much heart, then they have no other reason than to watch the other stuff and be a copycat.
Yeah, and you're right about that. One of the things I loved about Japan is they never heroized the criminals when they shot and killed people. Usually they were taken, their legal system's a little different than ours, might put people that are truly innocent in prison a long time, but ours does too. But the minute a crime has happened, it's mentioned and gone. The criminal isn't like, his story isn't, or her story isn't told over and over and over and over like it is here, and becomes a novel and a movie. So yeah, I mean, I agree with you, Jeff, that we need to change the way we heroize our actions.
We
Right?
need to
Somebody who does something
de-glamorize.
good, do you ever hear about it? Yay, this guy saved a tree. This guy, is making good grades. And one of the things I loved when I studied Taekwondo was every time the kids did something magnificent and good, they weren't treated like, oh, wow, you're just, no, we gave them awards. Like if you made good grades and you went out and rescued cats, you got awarded for it. You got acknowledged for it.
But
Since
that's
they would
also the
even,
biscuit for the dog. That's
right.
that's the biscuit.
Right. And what was interesting is you couldn't even test for your next belt unless you showed good grades. So, and if and he would encourage the teachers to send good reports, not just bad reports, right? But he would encourage the teachers at the school, please send good reports so that we can talk about the good things, not the bad things, but the good things that the kids are doing. What an inspiring! I learned so much from that sensei in the mannerisms that we were doing. We weren't about learning how to fight either, to be offensive and bullies. We were learning how to protect ourselves. And the first thing he taught us is if you can talk your way out of it, talk your way out of it. If you can back your way out of it, back your way. If you can run your way out of it. Your last defense should be, defending yourself physically.
Well,
So
we're taught to fight fire with fire, and what do you get? The house burns.
fire. Yeah, you get a lot of burn down. But kids are not inspired. So our TV shows have not been to inspire the kids to be nice to each other. Look at Jersey Shores. Look how big that got, right? And the ruder they were to people. I mean, I was trying to figure out how I could just cut it out of the cable network altogether. What a ridiculous reality show.
Kimberly, we have another kid. Speaking of kids, we have a new kid on the block. And I want to bring our attention to Lynn and see if he has anything to say about this.
Absolutely, Lynn.
I haven't been in the conversation long enough, but I do believe that our kids are a reflection in many cases of what the parents teach them or don't teach them. And so I think a lot of the issues fall on the parents.
Absolutely.
So
I think we need Mr. Rogers back on TV to come in every morning, and those parents that want to have a gentle child video experience, they get Mr. Rogers, and the show is developed around the healing and the sensitivity that we know now that the spike in suicide has to be, we have to slay that dragon. And so as adults and as proprietors of online content, we need to be more fun. We need to let them copy us by saying, you be nice to your animals today. You give them water, you give them biscuits. You go out and see the trees, children. Exercise, please. And then show more children exercising on that show in that very moment. And so I just dream of a new Mr. Rogers show that is, because he was around for 30 years or 40 years. He did his thing.
But Jeff, why can't we have a new Mr. Rogers, maybe in the form of Jeff Icon? Because we need more heroes. I mean, it's not just about Mr. Rogers. So why can't you play that role now?
He's got the heart.
Is he going to be Marvel or DC?
He can be something else. I mean, why we should go for Marvel or DC?
TV.
Marvel and DC have to change to like, marvelous.
There you go.
Well, but here's the thing: you bring up something about Mr. Rogers. We all loved Mr. Rogers. Who didn't, right? But the thing is that he set the example was set with shows, reality TV shows, with games, video games. I have tried to tell people our video games are programming our children wrong. I mean, when you let them play video games of shooting and tracking down people, so all of this, we need to reprogram. That video game we were playing the other day on Gamer's Den, pretty healthy to me.
But I think I would like to know Dr. Saggu's viewpoint on video game, because I think doctors have a different perspective.
Yeah, what is your view on Dr.
Everything about the gamers, especially PUBG and other games people play, and they are addicted to it, and some people play it for learning. What's your take on that?
The violent ones sell millions of copies.
Yeah.
Let's hear from Dr. Saggu.
Yeah, we already discussed about, we were very much worried about the drug addiction, but we are not worried about the screen addiction. So what is the physiology behind the screen addiction is whenever we are going to watch some TV serial, so what they are playing smartly is at the end of the one episode, they design that episode like that that will increase your dopamine. So can anyone tell me that if you can stop watching that serial after one episode, you automatically you are going to see the next one also, the next one also, because at the end of the one episode there is some designing is there like that will increase your dopamine. Same is with all the video games. When there is a video game, so I don't think it's the fault of the children or whosoever is playing that game, but the designing of that is like that they are going to increase the dopamine level of the children or of anybody who is playing that game. So automatically you are not able to stop that game, and you are indulged with this, and then your thought process is not conscious. They make your thought process like a compulsive. So whenever your thought process is compulsive, you are going in the deep of the game. It may be game, it may be any serial, or it may be anything. So when you are not, they actually disconnecting you from your brain. So there is no connection between you and your brain. So you cannot stop yourself. The same way PUBG is acting like that, you become addicted to that. So at that time, if we can ask them to follow some good practices in the form of yoga, meditation, concentration, anything, wherever we can concentrate, wherever we can focus our mind, so that can help to disrupt yourself from that video games or from that TV serials.
I think I agree to what Dr. Saggu said, but I think it's more about your willpower and your inner sense that what you want to do. I generally don't play games because I have a lot of more productive work to do, and then if I start playing it, it's more of an addiction. But if you play on and off just to pass certain time where you don't have anything to do, or maybe you just want to divert your, so it's more
this may be with anything. This may be the continuous scrolling of your phone also, your Facebook also. You cannot stop yourself scrolling the Facebook for 5 minutes or 10 minutes. You keep on scrolling. So that is because the screen is going to increase the level of the dopamine inside your brain. So everything is influenced by the hormones secreted by your brain. So then you cannot stop yourself. So at that time, if you can follow the good practices, only then you can stop yourself from doing all these things. The idea is to decrease the level of the dopamine. That will definitely going to help.
Certainly. And I think nowadays a lot of mobile phones have a screen sharing option where you can see how much time you are devoting to what application
Yeah.
or thing, so that you know,
That's
because you
correct.
don't remember what you are doing on the mobile phone. But if you go through that analytics, you'll get to know what you are doing. So I
Yeah.
think if we work it smartly, I think we can manage a lot of emotions as well and figure it out what we can do better or optimize our health and wealth. In fact, sir, I also practice. Sometime whenever I go to sleep, I purposely put my phone to do not disturb so that there is no disturbance and I can have a quality sleep.
Yes, yes. Ideally, we should be keeping the phone outside so that even the small
Yeah.
ring can also disturb our sleep. A small light also, because there is a pop-up of the light every time when you get any type of the notification. So that pop-up of the light also, that can also disrupt, and that can also decrease the melatonin and increase the dopamine.
Key learning for me, because that does happen to me, and I can just put my cap over it. That's a good piece of advice for me personally, because my
But
my
Jim,
phone does go off and the light does wake me up.
I thought
Jim,
you slept with your cap on.
Not this one. This is my Sunday go to meeting hat, and but I do have a sleep hat. Yes, it's warm and fuzzy.
Dr. Sadhu, I have a question. Is the thalamus gland the joy center?
Sorry.
The thalamus gland, is
Yeah.
that the joy? Is that access to joy? Is that the joy center?
You're talking about the pineal gland.
The not the pineal, the thalamus.
Thalamus. Okay. Thalamus, we cannot say it's a joy center, but yes, there is a concentration of the cell in the thalamus which activates your brain. So the thalamus plays you in the daytime. So there are the cells which can activate your brain and you can do your activities. So you can say it's a for joy also, because when you are doing some activities, you are enjoying that activity also.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Jeff,
great.
our viewers would like to know why your glasses have three circles.
When I go outside, I protect my third eye. That's like a bindi.
Oh,
When I go outside, I just pull my cap down a little bit.
so
Same.
what's your third eye saying right now? And is it kind of a sixth sense for you? Is it a sixth sense?
More than that.
My glasses, are they addiction for me?
No, the question was, what do you mean by third eye? And Ankit asked if it was the sixth sense, and I don't think it is. But what do you think, Jeff?
I think it's everything. I think it encompasses everything. That's why the bindi is there to remind us to not be so outward, but also to go inward. And that's where things come in and go out in a spiritual practice or school of thought. It's not absolute. There's no science behind that. But in spirituality, I've learned in all the books, the Gita, the Krishna book, blah blah blah, that the third eye is a beautiful thing, and if we protect it and keep it cool, then we stay cool.
So with that, I have a question for Dr. Sabgu. Dr. Sabgu, I mean, these days because of COVID, people have thermoscan on your forehead, right here. Do you think is it avoidable and we should take it on the wrist?
Yes. Ideally, it should be done on the dorsum of your hand.
Yeah.
Because when you're getting your thermoscan done on your dorsum of the hand, you are 1 meter away from the scanner. So
Okay.
when they are scanning from here, so he is close to you,
Closer.
but it should be like it should be like that. So that you can protect your third eye also, and you can protect yourself also by following the social distancing.
How do we
But
change that? How do we
a
get
lot
global
of people
change
can
on
follow
that?
the practice, but what are the causes if we take it on our forehead, the laser gun regularly? Because a lot of people go out and they have those scans regularly. What are the causes
Yeah.
to that?
Yeah, any type of the laser rays, maybe ultraviolet rays or some sort of other type of the laser rays, they can, I mean, because, as Jeff was saying, this is the third eye. Basically, this is the place for our consciousness, where the maximum energy of our soul is there. So this is the point. When we take a perpendicular line from here inside and take a perpendicular line from the tip of your skull inside, where these two lines joins, that is the place for the hypothalamus. And the part in the hypothalamus, that is supposed to be the place for your soul or for your consciousness. So all type of energy radiates from this place. It is going all to the all parts of your body, and it is going outside also. So
Yes.
when the thoughts are emerging from this place, they are radiating outside, and they are converted to the feeling, and those feelings, they becomes your destiny. So this, in spirituality, this is known that this is the part which is emerging all type of light or a beam of the light, which is keeping you aware of each and everything. So we should be taking care of this place.
Yes.
And also, is it a possibility, or is it a fact that the brain or the part of this one is very sophisticated, and we have to, protect it, because whenever there's a head injury, there's always a brain injury happened after that. So
Yeah, that is why the God has given us, the thick skull, because this is the part which is very fragile, and to protect this fragile part, we need to have a thick bones, and that bones, the multiple bone, they are fused and they make a skull. So that is why this part is on the top of us and very much protected.
Yes, Jeff, you want to say something?
Well, I believe that we need to teach the children still, because they're going to follow us, and we need to share with them what to protect, and we need to get them into daily meditation, but make it fun, and so I don't meditate anymore. I contemplate.
Yeah.
But you're focused.
So actually, the meditation is the concentration only. When you focus on one point, that is only the meditation. Meditation doesn't mean a silence. When you are singing, if you are concentrating on that, that is also meditation. When you're cooking, if you're concentrating on that, is also sort of meditation. So when we are even speaking also, we are talking on this IBM TV. So if we are focusing, we are giving 100% to our IBM TV. That is also one sort of meditation. So we can give the good vibration to all the viewers. So focusing on one point is a meditation.
So that's a awake meditation.
Yeah, this is awake meditation. And for the children, it is very, now the need for the hour is we should be communicating well with them. We should be taking care of their needs also. We should be teaching them the good practices, meditation, focusing. We should be teaching them good lifestyle. So if all these factors we are combining, I think we can make our children more strong, and we can make their hormone also in the balanced situation. So when the hormones, they are in the balanced situation, I don't think there would be any problem, because the suicidal attacks or depression or all these psychosomatic disorders, they are because of imbalance of the hormone. And an imbalance is caused by unhealthy practices, unhealthy lifestyle, unhealthy food, unhealthy communication, unhealthy groupism, unhealthy company. So if we can convert all these things, all these unhealthy things into the healthy things, plus good communication, make them aware of everything, that can help them preventing from the suicide.
When I was a child, they said don't take candy from strangers.
Yeah, yes, that is very important. So
we need to
actually,
we need to teach our children that it's okay to be gentle, that it's okay not to be like the bullies. And then we remove bullies once we make all the children gentle.
Well, there's a fundamental misunderstanding of Darwin's theories, and it says the survival of the fittest, and we think that means the survival of the strongest, but it doesn't. It means the one who fits best. And so when your environment changes, how do you adapt to your environment? And if you fit best in the new environment, then you will survive. And so this idea of the bully, of the being the strongest, and that's just a misunderstanding of a basic principle of life.
Well, they show in some TV shows like Leave It to Beaver, or some TV shows, they show the parents using, I'll say the word taekwondo or jujitsu or judo,
Aikido,
to protect yourself. So when a bully comes, you can bully back at him, instead of what you said earlier, was to speak to that person, to get yourself out of that dilemma or that violence. In war, in Israel, in anywhere, we should talk to each other, not carry a weapon.
Speak softly.
Yeah, but then you carry the big stick, unfortunately.
Yeah, but that stick can have flowers all wrapped around it and be rainbow.
Well, could be.
If I was in charge of the planet, man.
Worse yet, Jeff, what if I was in charge of the planet?
Oh no. Oh no.
We would have rainbow chessboards. Rainbow chessboards.
That's right. You got me. Yeah. But Dr. Segu, I think that's so important what you've been telling us, and or just sharing with us, because it's about our behaviors. If we can modify our behaviors so that they're more appropriate, that they're better for us and others, then we'll be fine. And if we practice bad habits, such as playing violent games that just stimulate this part of our brain and not this part of our brain, we're gonna have trouble. We're gonna get out of balance. So the whole thing is to stay in balance. You're talking about it with your sleep as well. Get quality sleep. It's not the length of time you sleep, it's the quality of the sleep. So thank you so much for sharing this. I've learned a great deal again from you.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me here.
Thank you, sir. Good night, and we'll see you next week on Friday.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
I'm gonna miss Dr. Segu because he's Mr. 5x5, if you remember.
Yeah.
Yes, he is.
And you only got 5, Lynn. What are your 5?
What are my 5?
Yeah.
I got lots of 5s though.
Okay.
Okay. I got five very important things about finances that people need to learn. Okay. I've got $5 worth of gift tokens. I've got another $5 worth of gift tokens. Yeah. So, do we have a minute or two to talk about the family? Okay.
What do I do with gift tokens?
Well, let's first of all talk about the fact that our family owns an online dollar store. Okay. Now, the link is family.dollarstore.com, but you don't need to know about that because you can just go right to the IBM TV website, click on the big round green button, and you'll go right to the website. We deliver right to your home. It is all online. We deliver right to your home. We deliver for free for $25 and over. But when you sign up to become a customer, you get $5 worth of gift tokens. There's the big round green button.
Can't miss it.
Okay, you can't. And just click on the button and it takes you right to the site. Now, we have 4,300 items. They're quality items. They're not cheap. They're quality, but they're a lot less expensive than what you're going to get by going to a big box store or over the counter, even to Amazon. And an example, and I'm sure if Kimberly is operating this, she's going to find the line lift remover, and that's a product that we have that is a beauty product, which is and it's actually we're clearing it out right now, but we have it for $4.99. Amazon sells it for $67. So when you think of the 5 aspects of financial fitness Okay, the 5 aspects of financial fitness. Number
You
one.
sold out. I think you sold out.
Oh, we did sell out.
Yep,
Ooh.
it's no longer there. So you finally sold out of the product that was selling for $67 on
You
Amazon.
you can't snooze because then you lose.
Snooze. Yep. If you snooze, you lose. So anyway, but the point is, we have 4,300 items. We have products from
These are
Johnson
great,
& Johnson.
by the way. These
What's
are
that?
really good. These things
Yeah,
right here, they're the best. They are
Yep.
the bomb. Teachers use them on the desk for kids. And it doesn't scratch the kids at the desk, but it gets up all of the mess that they put on the desk. So these are awesome. Sorry.
Yeah, we use them all. We use them all the time.
Mhm.
In fact, we just had some breakfast before I got on the show, and I was using one to help clean up. So there you go. But we have products from Johnson & Johnson. We have products from Fisher Price. We have products from Crest. We have products. We have products from Dove. We even have Irish Spring, which Kimberly and Jim like. But the important thing is we have a lot of essentials like masks, okay? And the masks. Now, these masks are the proper kind of masks. They're three layers, okay? Blue side out protects the people you're talking to. And in Jim's case, we want his always to be blue side out. But for the rest of us, just in case we're concerned, we'll put the blue side in because that now protects us from the outside. But we have boxes of masks for $50. I mean, for $25 for 50 masks. You can't do better than that. You really can't. And if you apply the $5 worth of gift tokens, it's only going to cost you $20. They're going to get shipped free to your home. So Kimberly found the boxes right there. But we have them in smaller packs as well. Now, also, we have things, a lot of CBD products. So Jim is well familiar with them because we were concerned he was going to buy us out. But we have extreme patches of CBD patches with lidocaine. They're great for back problems. They're great for shoulder if you have tendonitis in your shoulder. I use them for because I do get tendonitis in my shoulder. And actually, we're going to start playing tennis again. Yay! Finally, next. Well, it's on right now. There have been some great matches if you've been watching. But yes, so I'm going to start playing in my regular Saturday group next Saturday.
Good for you, man.
I love to play tennis. In fact, you're all invited to the Masters tennis tournament when I turn 100. So I want you all there to cheer me on. I'm not sure if I'll have an opponent, but that's okay. You can cheer me on. Although my wife has said on a couple of occasions that even if I don't have an opponent, I probably won't win. So then probably what I'll need is to put the extreme patches on my head, like Jim does when he plays Sasha in chess. By the way, did you notice that there's an Alexander Zverev? I think it's Zverev, who's a tennis player, and everybody calls him Sasha. Just so I guess Sasha is a nickname for Alexander.
Yeah, it's a diminutive, right?
Yeah. So there you go. Oh, yeah. There's a big word, Jim. Can you pull out the dictionary and tell me and give me the definition of diminutive?
Diminutive is a shortened thing like James can be. I go by Jim, so that's a diminutive of James.
Ah, okay. Good for you. Well, thank you very much. I love to be educated. So the one thing we can't let people forget about is Kimberly's favorite. We all joined the Minion Napkin Club. So anyway, and they have them on the back. So we want everybody to join. But think about this. When you shop at the dollar store, what are you doing? First of all, you're saving money. Secondly, you're able to pay for whatever what your expenses are. Third, you still have money left over, so you continue to invest to make sure that you have enough money to pay for your taxes. But even then, you're going to have money left over so you can pay forward. However, if you shop at our online dollar store, what are you doing? You're doing two of those 5 aspects at the same time. You're saving money and you're paying forward because you're helping to contribute to Money Masters PBS, which has a wonderful mission of reducing the gap between poverty and financial sustainability. And we love the mission. That's why through the end of September, we're donating 100% of our profit to Money Masters PBS because we really believe in the mission. So 50% thereafter, but for the month of September. So please join. And when you join, by the way, by the end of September, we're going to give you an extra $5 worth of gift tokens. So
wow, that right there is worth it right there, because all of the essentials that you can get on the Family Dollar store are amazing. You no longer have to go out and put yourself at risk for those of you who are afraid or sick and don't need to be going out. Just shop online and the essentials are there. And if you've got, you know, we're wanting to work with the prisons too, like with Jeff has. There are a lot of people in the prisons that are unable to get their essentials. They're unable to get masks, but you need to be careful about the masks. So I love the mask that you guys have. They have that perfect little bendable wire that shapes the face that doctors love. The masks that you use are very similar, if not the same, that the doctors use. I will say this, don't let them put you under the MRI with this.
Ooh, I never
Okay.
thought of that.
So when I was in the hospital in the ER last week and they were having to run some scans, this became a major concern. And unfortunately, they had already knocked me out and I couldn't raise it. Of course, I started, they put me on the wrong drugs and I had a little incident. But anyway, they, yeah, this will kill you. So, you know, there are things that, so they do have masks now, but I don't want you guys to change because I like these better. There are masks that have a plastic bone that is kind of bendable, but not as
Sure.
Yeah, this
the other thing is this cannot go into any kind of bone, cannot go into the prison. So you actually need the masks that have no bone in and probably no string. We're going to have to come up with a special one for prisons because right now the big concern is the prisons don't have masks. And quite frankly, they don't have masks because a lot of them don't know how to behave with masks. They'll use them for weapons or you know, things that they shouldn't. Jim's got this. You know, it depends on which way you wear your stripes. But the key is that we need essentials everywhere. So the soaps can be sent, toothpaste. There are all kinds of wonderful food, snacks, all kinds of wonderful foods. You've got new foods. I noticed you have new kinds of foods. Hey, Nick, if you're listening, they got new snack foods. You've got the
Mark.
Yeah, Mark, right?
Right. Hey, Mark.
The Cookie Monster.
They have new snacks, Mark. But anyway, I think it's coming time to wrap up. But what we want to do is thank the Family Dollar Store for sponsoring us because we can't do this without sponsors. We're also going to be hosting International Day of Peace. It's a very big honor to be the network station to be hosting such a very important day. It's September 21st. If you send us a short video, what peace means to you, the first 100 people, out of my own pocket, I'll send an extra $5 just for participating in the International Day of Peace, which could be $5 that you can apply to shopping for something great and wonderful. One thing I like about the Family Dollar Store is they step up to the plate for things we need today. So when we were out of toilet paper in this country, they got toilet paper. When we needed masks, they didn't sell masks in the very beginning. They not only got masks in bulk rate, which is almost cheaper than what you can get on wholesale, but they also got it now where you can get in packs of 10 at a very affordable cost. I was at the store the other day. They sell these in little individual plastic bags.
Yep.
I got a picture, $10.
$10.
If you're
Yikes.
smart though, and you forgot your mask, if you go to the desk because they want you to wear the mask in the store, they'll give you one. Like, here, take it. So they a lot of stores are stepping up to the plate, and they will give you a mask for free if you're shopping in their store and you forgot yours. But if you buy them in bulk rate, they come in little individual packages. You can take and put a package in your car. That way, if you forgot some, or in your purse or your bag, your briefcase. So there's just so many ways that you can use up that bulk. And plus, if you order in the big bulk, you get shipping for free. But I want people to get involved with International Day of Peace, because that's a very big community message that we're sending to the world, is that we want world peace. But that's right. We need to get Sandra Bullock up there. I love how her stand was. I'm not going to say world peace. I think that is just so corny. I'm not going to say we need policies to make world peace. And so she gets up there in front of the world, and nobody listens to her. And then she goes, and world peace. And the whole crowd cheers and everything. But
isn't it the International Day of Peace?
Yeah, that's what I kept saying at the beginning. International Day of Peace, but of course we're saying world peace.
Okay.
But,
I think whatever the name is, peace is important, and we should focus on peace, whether it's international, world, or global, or whatever it is.
Okay. I just wanted to be politically correct.
Well, and I said that in the very beginning.
But the concept is we have to talk about peace, and that's what it's all about. I mean, because people get confused about a lot of things, and our focus is peace today.
But we want peace. We are part of International Day of Peace. We will be bringing you more, but send us your video of what peace means to you. We look forward to seeing you. Thank you for joining us on Spiritual Day, and all the great and beautiful messages we got from our fans. We thank you. Shop the Family Dollar store and watch Zach at the back seat today. Funk in the back seat. Zach is back, folks. He's back.
Zach is back. Going on live on IBM TV. But before we wrap up, there's a short piece message from one of our correspondents. Where we go.
I'm Bill Tresemont with IBM TV. On September 21st, 2020, IBM TV, along with our partners, will be celebrating World Peace Day. For me, this is a day of reflection, outreach, and mutual support, as we think of and act in ways that we can build a better tomorrow for everyone who lives on this planet. So, I ask that you join us in celebrating World Peace Day. Remember, September 21st, 2020. Join us here on IBM TV. I'm Bill Tresemont.
Knocked it out of the park.
Cool.
So that's what it is. And post Funk from the Fun Seat, we have a show, Plant a Good Seed with the show play at 1 p.m. EST, followed by Chess Stars with Sasha Star at 3 p.m. EST, and then we have a Saturday night DJ show if the doctor is available, and that's based on the availability, and that's for the weekend. And it's time to wrap, and here we go.